up, everyone? This is Michelle.
And he's Mike.
And we are Luvy's Fat Like. We hadn't done that in a while, right?
No.
I'm usually clowning around, acting a little crazy. It's the only time I get that crazy. Michelle has me in a fine line. I got to walk it all the time. You can't, say do this, do that. Michelle, do I have permission to talk now?
I'm sure that y'all believe that.
Hey, this is going to be an awesome show tonight, right?
Yes.
We cannot wait. We got special guests who are not here yet, but we told them 8:10 to 8:15, and they're always on time.
Yes, and they're great people.
They're great people. We've met them in person, and we haven't cruised with them yet. That's one thing, and we're blurry. Look at us being blurry over here. We need to start doing a podcast, I guess, because Starlink is not our friend right now.
Yeah.
It's been raining.
I don't have to worry about my wrinkles showing.
It's all blurry over. So yeah, we got Starlink, a lot of rain here, and that's the one thing. It's kind of like satellite TV. If it's pouring down rain and a lot of, it's just not as good. So.
And what is it with this weather?
Yeah, it's been raining here for like a week straight, right?
It's mid-June. It is supposed to be hot.
Yeah, I mean, the ground is green and lush. That's one good thing.
But it's only in the 60s, and it doesn't feel very warm.
And if you got four-legged family members,
they don't
want to go outside. I mean, we got one dog.
She puts on brakes.
She'll like, I'm not gonna put my paw in there. No, it's wet. Let me go back inside. And I'm like, really?
She does not like it.
We got one. He's so dumb. He just sat there like, but he's a good dog though. Gets in a lot of trouble, but he's a good dog.
He is a troublemaker.
He's a troublemaker for sure.
But when he gets a little older, he's going to be exceptional.
He is. So tonight we're going to talk about Bimini. Now we got a cruise on the Carnival Sunshine in 5-6 weeks now, Michelle.
Yeah.
July 27th through the 31st. If you haven't booked it, what are you waiting on? I'm not a TA. Find a TA in here. If you're a TA in the chat, say, yeah, I'm a TA.
It's Thursday, so I think it is.
Find a TA.
5 weeks from today.
It's 5 weeks from today. On the Carnival Sunshine, 4-day cruise. It's a quick getaway, especially if you're in North South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee. Come on over. And then we got one stop in Bimini and then back. And it was a quick getaway for us. By the time we looked at the prices going to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, which we love too.
Yes, and we hadn't been in some time.
We hadn't been in a while, but it was going to be just as cheap to go on the Sunshine for 4 days. So we're driving down the morning of. Going to get on there. Normally we don't do that. We don't recommend that. But since that's only a 4.5-hour drive, we'll leave at 5 in the morning. We'll be there at 9:30 in the morning. So it won't be too bad. And but yeah, we're really looking forward to this. Some of you in here have been to Bimini. We're going to ask you some questions. We're going to bring on Matt and Kimbra with Fintastic Cruising. Great people. They love reptiles, snakes, marine, everything we love, right? And plus, Matt's a pretty good artist. He did the hashtag Big Bite.
He is a good artist.
He is an excellent artist. Not good. He's excellent. So
and they're just super nice.
Yeah, and Kimbra's a TA. I mean, they're great people, great couple. Got to be on a cruise with them, though. We got to get on a cruise with them. Still hadn't done that yet. But hey, real quick before we bring them in and before we say our hellos, have y'all seen this? It's been out for a little while. If you're from the South, you love some Bojangles hard sweet tea, right? Let's see, somebody was texting me. Is that Matt and Kimbra? Oh, yeah. Matt says we're working out some technical difficulties.
Oh, no.
Okay. So we may run this whole show just off you guys and us, but that's okay. We
know exactly how
we
that
know
is.
exactly how that is. You got to pay that internet bill there, Matt and Kimbra. So they do have the link to this, so hopefully they'll make it. But hey, we're gonna drink some. Look, Bojangles hard sweet tea. Now here, I love my gravy biscuits from Bojangles. The chicken biscuits have changed a little bit. They're known for their chicken fillets. Chicken sandwiches changed a little bit. I used to like their old chicken sandwiches. But my nephew came over a couple of weeks ago and said, Uncle Mike, have you tried this one? I said, nope. Still haven't tried it. I'm not into, if it's like a seltzer thing, I don't do Trulies and all that.
199 calories.
Yeah, this little thing, it's 12 ounces, 109 calories, 27 carbs. If you're counting carbs, you definitely don't want to try it. But it is produced by Appalachian Mountain Brewery.
That's cool.
You don't say Appalachian like those news people do on TV. It's Appalachian.
Yes.
It's not Appalachian. It's not the Appalachian Trail. Appalachian. If you're North Carolina, that's how you say it. Tennessee, Virginia, Georgia, you don't say it like this. And also everybody remember Appalachian State did beat Michigan one year. They beat somebody else not long ago, a couple years ago. They beat Carolina in my Tar Heels. But let's try this out. And I'm not a seltzer fan. I've heard it's better with a lemon or a lime with it. But we are going to try it out right here. Let's pop it. Cold beer. All right, so let's try this out. You want to try it?
You try it first.
Okay. It's actually not that bad. It tastes like unsweetened tea, which in the South we like our sweet tea. It's not completely unsweetened. It's not a seltzer. It don't taste like seltzer. It doesn't have all that carbonation in it. With a lemon or lemon lime, I might be able to do that. Michelle, take you a sip. Michelle doesn't like beer at all.
Oh, and it smells like beer.
It don't smell like beer.
Oh, yes, it does.
I'll drink an IPA. I like West Coast. So people say take your man card away from that.
All right, here
Try
we
it,
go.
Michelle. First time I've ever seen her drink a beer, ever. 20 years. For a beer, what do you think?
I think it's awful. And it is sweet.
It is sweet. It's not real sweet, though. I'm chasing it with my Crown,
Diet
too.
Coke.
So I may drink some more of this during the show, but yeah. All right.
Don't recommend it.
It's not. Hey, it's try it one time. Give it a try, right? Let's go through and say hello to the chat. Hey, technical difficulties. We got a PowerPoint presentation for you anyway. So they could always come on a little bit later. We'll start it and they'll finish it. They're going to hit the home run out of the park anyway they get in here.
In here?
No, I think they may be on a camping trip or something. I don't know. So let's say hello to the people in the chat. So we got Miss Meg is in the house.
Hi.
Hello, hello. Miss Sandy. That's Mama Matt.
Yes.
Matt's mama.
Matt's mama.
Let's see who else we got in here. Miss Nana, Tom and Brenda are both in the house. I saw them both in here. KY Travelers, yes. If I miss somebody, just David. He said he tried Cheerwine. I'm trying Bojangles beer, and he's trying Cheerwine.
I need to try the Cheerwine Zero.
Oh yeah, I've tried it. It's good.
I
Hungry Hussy loves it. If you ever seen him, he always has Cheerwine on his Blackstone videos. If you're into Blackstone outdoor cooking, look up a guy named Hungry Hussy, Trinity, North Carolina, not far. A few years back, we were exchanging messages and email, and now he's blown up 150, 200,000 subscribers.
He's big.
Big time. And he knows how to cook on that Blackstone. Hungry Hussy. Salisbury, North Carolina is where Cheerwine was invented and where it was produced, still produced, I believe. And they have a big festival there every year. So let's see who else we got here. Stop me if I miss anybody, Michelle. I see Traveler Bust is in the house.
Yes.
Good to see you, Traveler Bust.
We got Shows.
And I think Traveler Bust, I think you're the ones that had the golf cart in Bimini. If I'm not, I may be mistaken on that.
Ooh.
We watched that video. Remember they was eating?
Yes.
It was a good video.
Yes. We got the Shows in here that you just did by.
Missed them. Amanda and Roy are here. They've been to Bimini as well. Oh, we see our special guests in the back. Yay! They have arrived. They paid their bill, and they're on now. They're in the back. Let's see. Jennifer is in the house. Miss Jennifer, good to see you. There's Shals. And I did see Amanda pop in here as well. And let's see. Great talking back and forth. I love all this. 36 in the house. Not everybody said anything. Mr. Paul's in the house. Good to see you, Paul. Jennifer says she's in Winston-Salem now. I don't know if she's visiting or living there now. LMZ, I think that's a new name. Good to see you in the house. I think you said South Carolina here. Good to see you. We're just a little north of you. There's Miss Amanda.
Yes.
And Chuck's in the house. Good to see you, Chuck. Always good to see you. Joe Cara going to Bimini next month. Awesome. Us too in July. Now, was it earlier? When are you going? We're going to the 27th through the 31st. I may have. I don't know. I better watch what I say. Controversial Cruising. Hello, hello, hello. I love the name of that. I love controversial stuff. Who else?
You're flying, dude. You're flying.
You got to process, Michelle. You got to reboot that computer up there.
Slow.
Slow by this time of the week.
So slow.
Yeah, we got to work. There's Cruising with Elena. We got to work this I got to work Saturday and Sunday like a regular work day. So it's going to be I counted up the hours of the day. It's a 76-hour work week if I stick to the 8 hours. Stacy's in the house. Good to meet Stacy. We met him briefly on the horizon and did not get to spend time with him and his wonderful other. But we got to hook up with him later down the road. Stacy's like a great guy. Heidi Cook. I need to stop Saturday by Cherry Grove. Oh, so you're going to North Myrtle Beach, Cherry Grove. Love that area. What's the name of that pizza place that Grandpa used to go all the time? That's my cousin, by the way. Our grandparents lived down at North Myrtle Beach for 30 plus years.
Been in a long time.
Yeah, I kind of gave up on Myrtle Beach. I hate to say it. It's just every time I hear anything, it's crime and shooting and something bad going on. I did say Cruising with Elena, right?
You did.
Who else in here? I said Sandy. Kevin, good to see you in the house. Good to see you, brother. And I think it might be getting close to the end, right, Michelle? I did say Megs and C's. I know I did. She was the first one, right?
You did.
Okay. Gaylors are in the house. I hope the Gaylors are doing well. I hope you're doing better. I know you had surgery a while back, but I hope you're doing well. Amanda Francis, I read her post going on the magic with my parents, sister, and nephew in 2 days. Yes. You'll miss Bill.
You're leaving poor Bill.
I'm sure you're going to spend plenty of those bills on that cruise, so you'll be all right. Every time you spend money, think of Bill, especially if he's paying for it. Blaine is in the house. Great to see you, Blaine. Getting towards
Heidi said, Heidi said to try Bush Peach.
Okay, she says try Bush Peach. I hate beer, but I like it. Okay.
I hate beer too.
Oh, Ventures Ahead's in the house. Well, they actually got the internet up there in the mountains. Or they stopped at a Bojangles. I don't think they had Bojangles up there. And all right, we're getting toward the very end here, I think, right, Michelle? Let's see where we go. cabin and don't have great service. Hey, we're just glad to see you in here. We feel blessed that you've even
absolutely
been part of the
privileged.
Yeah. Good groceries. That's right, Gaylors. That Blackstone, good groceries. That's right. He's good. Matt's a good dude. All right, Real Dead's in the house too. Bimini is overrated. There may be a lot of people that disagree with you on that one, Mr. Josh. Let's see who else we got in here. Michelle, love Bimini. We got a taxi to take us to the Dolphin House, and it needed up being a tour and took us to a local restaurant. Amazing day. Awesome.
Hey.
Well, our guest today. We got another one right in here. Hello in Greensboro. Hey, Greensboro, Tobaccoville, North Carolina. Me and Michelle met at the Curry Convention Center in Greensboro, North Carolina, home of Ric Flair.
21 years ago.
Oh, the Magic 716. Okay, awesome. Love the Magic.
King's Pizza.
Yes, King's Pizza. That's it. Great pizza. Fair up North Carolina. Gary Campbell, good to see you in here. Back on the Sunshine, March 2020. We're looking at a March-April tour. I know we got some TX Pepitos in the house. Also, who else we got in here? Traveler Bus. Okay, I think I said it. Okay, we're at the bottom. Hey, we're running behind, right? We're 1 minute behind. Our guests back here, are you ready to come on? I think they're ready to come on. Yeah, I think they're ready to go. Let's bring our guests. Let me have before I talk to them, I need another drink. Some Bojangles here.
So it looks like
so when you go by and you get tea from Bojangles, it may be from Appalachian Brewery in there too.
So the Gaylor said that they didn't like Bimini.
Okay, there's another one. We don't like Bimini, but it's been 2 years since we were there. Okay. Well, let's bring on the experts. Boom!
Hello.
Hello, guys.
Can you hear us?
We can hear you. Yes, loud and clear. Can you hear us?
Yes, although you do sound like the guy from Saw, but that's not because of you. That's because this is the first time we've actually tried to use the studio. It's like halfway set up, and we didn't have our camera set up to our computer, our lights set up.
So we're putting you through a lot of work, right?
We didn't even have a speaker. We went and bought a Bluetooth speaker at 7:15. It can't connect to the computer, so we're using our microphone thing, which makes you sound like this. So
I don't have the deep voice like Dave or PSV Ball.
That actually sounds exactly the same when you do that. But yeah, so we're partly set up here, and if you can hear us, then we're golden.
Is that a real brick wall behind you?
Oh,
No.
It might be.
Oh,
it looks real from here.
does.
I mean, maybe because the lighting is not on it all the way, but it looks really cool.
Yeah,
I like it a
I
lot.
kind of like the dark background. I know you're gonna have the lights coming up here though, because I know you got the ship over there, right? That's not the radio ship, right? That's a cushion.
It's a plushie.
yeah.
The cushion, the Carnival, okay. So
It's possible that this wall got delivered by Amazon about a half an hour. Well, no, I guess it was.
you did a heck of a job with it.
That's impressive.
It's about 6:45.
6:45. That's possibly what happened. Also, we're echoey because we don't have anything on the walls yet. We did put carpet things in here, but that didn't seem to help. So
We're a mess.
yes, we're a mess.
But it's all right. It's all right.
We're
We
happy
still
to be
got
here.
boxes from 10 years ago there. That's in our basement. We hadn't took out from where we lived at beforehand, don't we?
Yes.
I probably should have said that, right? So what I've always wanted to do back here, which, Michelle's done an awesome job back here, but where we got like 3 channels, we got a cooking channel, and then me and Josh have the Real Dead Horror channel. I want to put a bookshelf and put it on rollers and just be able to have both sides of it and spin it around and roll it in front of this when I'm doing other things, and then roll it back out when you know what I mean? I mean, so the whole green screen thing, I don't really like.
The bad thing is there's not much room back there.
No, if I push back a little bit, we're in trouble. Hey, people didn't come here to hear
Yes.
that. They come here to hear about good to see Together We Travel is in here, good to see. But they come here to hear about Fintastic Cruising and also to hear a little bit about Bimini. So
Yes.
first of all, introduce yourself and your channel, which Nightbot should be throwing the link in here throughout. And also in the description of this video, if you're watching a replay about Bimini And we also got a little bit there about Carnival and Virgin we're going to play with a little bit. And I know some Virgin fans in here. There's some Carnival fans in here, so that should be fun too at the end. But tell us a little bit about your channel.
Sure. You want to?
So we are Fintastic Cruising. We started as a podcast, and we still call ourselves a podcast, but we are currently primarily lives on YouTube.
Yeah, we haven't been posting it as an audio podcast, but we may get back to that now that we've moved and stuff recently. So that's why the studio's a mess. But we basically we are a channel that primarily is focused on cruising, but because we're both creature people, we like to talk about animals and
Are you back?
environmental stuff. So
they're back. Okay. That's probably our internet. You were probably fine, but it's probably our internet messed up. Yeah, because I'm locked up over here. So we both back? I think we're both back.
I can see you. You're a little fuzzy, but we can see you fine.
Okay. So again, remember, you can listen to us as a podcast. You don't have to see us. I know we're all four great-looking people, but you don't have to see us. You can just hear us. And plus, I have the deep voice, according to Matt, on the right.
Yes.
So
I see somebody's asking where our name is from.
Yes.
So it's basically Fintastic. I usually say have a Fintastic day. I say Fintastic a lot because Fin, like, sharks, dolphins, and other creatures. And then Fintastic. I used to do a podcast with Tony from La Lita Loca called The Cruise Geeks. And that was kind of my calling card, was have a Fintastic day. So I kind of kept that. And we called the channel or the podcast Fintastic Cruising. So, and that's the history of it.
And that's an awesome name.
Thank you.
So we got TX Pepito says this aluminum from the can is messing up with the Starlink signal. So I better crush this one real quick.
That makes perfect sense.
All right, 1 down, 12 to go. Just picking. So I thought real quick what we may could do is I've got a PowerPoint slide, and we'll go over to the side.
Oh my goodness.
Tell a little bit about.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Tell a little bit about Bimini, and then the experts here that have been to Bimini, and those in the chat that are experts, can tell us their opinion on some things. And also, let me show you. Yeah.
Can I ask him a question?
Okay, ask him a question.
Can I ask a personal question?
Ask it right personal in front of 34 people?
Yes. Have y'all set a date?
For the wedding?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. November 4th on the Carnival Mardi Gras.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so awesome.
We missed that because we're on the cruise the week before that, I think, or two.
That is so awesome.
That's this year.
Double cruise. Just cruise again.
We could let Anthony come back and go to school, right?
Yes.
Well, congratulations. Yeah, you guys are an awesome couple. And y'all going to have a couple snakes as like the ring bearers and stuff like that?
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, so I've got real quick, let me show you this, number one. This is what we booked in Bimini. Now, we watched some great videos as earlier about golf carts, and then Matt and them's going to tell us about some other things, but this was what was offered for us. And then we got, it's the Resorts World Pool and Beach experience without the food. You can pay extra, it's like 30 more bucks for the food. But I found out you can buy the food for 15 or 20 bucks versus the $30 extra that Carnival's getting you. And maybe you get another drink out of it. I don't know. But also we got like 20% off of this price as soon as we booked the cruise. So we actually got this for around $33, $32. And then Anthony was like 20 some dollars. But down the road, our next time to Bimini, we definitely want to check the island out. So you guys can give us more tips on that. But just let everybody know at first, that's what we did book. And then I want to add to the stream real quick, just some stuff about Bimini. So if somebody's watching the replay on this, again, pull this off of the Resort World's website. Here you got the legendary SS, is that Sapana? Shipwreck?
The SS Sapona. Yeah.
Sapona. So it says, uncover the legend of the SS Sapona, built for World War I but completed too late. This historic artifact turned into a warehouse for alcohol during the Prohibition era.
Wow.
So over 80 years later, it says it's home to tropical fish and sea creatures, and you can travel by boat out there 3 miles and check it out. That's really cool. Then you see they got the sip from the Fountain of Youth. That seems really cool too.
Okay, I need some of that water.
No, you don't need that, Michelle. And then we got a beloved home to Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway stayed there. And it said he actually lived there from 1935 to 37, which is really cool. And Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King experienced the purest form of peace in 1964 when he came to Bimini to write his Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech. So another great historical information there.
How interesting.
And then you got, I've seen, I think Amanda talked about this, going to the Dolphin House, which really I don't think really has dolphins, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's a nature tour and walking tour of Alice-town, created in 1933 by local author and historian Ashley Saunders. The house was built solely utilizing materials found right on the shores of the beach. That would be really cool.
That is cool.
Like probably, that'd be really cool. And then you got Explore Bimini, Bimini's in Town Treasures. So a little bit of pictures from this resort world resort, whatever it's called.
That's so beautiful.
Of course, that's good. Yeah. And there's the, kind of the beach, ocean, and the pools. This one, I think, is later at night. That may be something like when you're with Virgin, because I think they stay later. There's some more pictures. There's the casino that this one's stuck next to. They have a casino as well. And then you go to
I know why you booked this.
No, not for the casino. And then you can also rent these VIP cabana rentals as well. But that's just a little bit real quick we threw in here. And we'll want to hear from Fintastic Cruising, Kimbra and Matt. Now, what did you actually do when you went to Bimini, and how did you get to Bimini? I'm sorry, I just belched up that tea. I apologize.
They needed to know that, I'm sure.
Well, so we were on Virgin Scarlet Lady, and we cruised to Bimini, and we were scheduled to do scuba diving, but I was having some difficulty with my ears. I was having some congestion. You can't scuba dive if you've got congestion, so we were kind of bummed. But we went and we decided we would just go check out Virgin's little private resort there and see if there was any snorkeling, because I could snorkel, I just couldn't dive. So we did. So we went over there and we checked it out, and it is, as you saw in the pictures, it is a beautiful, very scenic place. There's a lot there. We got there super early. One thing it doesn't offer is snorkeling. So there's beach there. You can get in the water, but you're limited to how far out you can go. And it was kind of rough. So the visibility was not, it's great for like hanging out, playing in the water. It's perfect. But if you're like us and you want to see things in the water, not so great. So we were kind of bummed about that, because that's who we are. So that's what we wanted to do. So we were looking at the app, because we had the Wi-Fi there from Virgin still, and there was a shark swim and the SS Sapona snorkel combination that we had wanted to do, but it had sold out. Well, they opened up another section of it, so we literally booked it while we were on the island for like later that afternoon, and then we went back and did that. So we ended up doing a double thing where we went to the Sapona, snorkeled around that for about a half an hour, and then we went to this spot where there's a bunch of Caribbean reef sharks and some black-nosed sharks, and you get in the water and you swim with them. So, and we have videos of those two experiences too on our channel if anybody wants to see those. But I will tell you, when you dock in Bimini, there's like a dock that you walk out to get to the actual island. Take your time walking on that and look over the sides. On that little walk, we saw probably, 15, 20 nurse sharks, several stingrays,
really?
Just
Cool.
swimming down. I mean, they're kind of silhouettes, but the water there is real clear. And yeah, we saw a bunch. Bimini is famous for sharks. Like it's probably the biggest shark research island in the world. There's a lot of sharks there. So we knew that. So we were excited hoping to see sharks on our dive, but then we did that snorkel with the sharks, and it was phenomenal. Yeah.
So you said was that a paid excursion through Virgin?
Yeah.
It was. So like Carnival, I didn't see the shark snorkel on that you were just showing, but they did have the Sapona on there, which is a great snorkel. We saw sea turtles, we saw a bunch of stingrays. The Sapona is a concrete ship. It's made out of concrete. So during World War I, steel we were running out of steel. So we started building ships out of concrete. And that one got finished after. It couldn't be utilized in World War I, so it got sold. There's a lot of mythology and history to it. Some of it's mythology, but some of it's real history. It's an interesting ship. It's a great snorkel. Because it's concrete and it sticks halfway out of the water, you can safely snorkel into the shipwreck. And you can't normally, you don't necessarily want to do that unless you've been trained and you know, that kind of thing. But this is a safe one to do that. So lots and lots and lots of marine life on there. There is, there are a couple of companies that will do the Sapona and the shark swims. If you're there the right time of year, you could even do a hammerhead shark experience. It might be a scuba only though. I'm not sure.
You can snorkel at the top.
Can you?
Yeah.
That you could book outside of a cruise line, and they do accommodate cruise lines, but you got to kind of work with them because
December through April.
Yeah, because they don't. You want to make sure you book one that is set up for cruisers. So that's an opportunity if they're not offering it through the cruise line.
So it looks like in here on our question in the chat for tonight through YouTube, it's saying, "Have you ever been to Bimini or not?" 67% said they have not, but that's still one out of every three that has. So that's a pretty good number. So let's just ask a question right off the bat, and I know this is very subjective, is those that have been to Bimini, yes or no? Did you like it? Yes, or did you not like it? No. I've heard some people say no, they didn't like it. So maybe some of those that said no would like to hear why you didn't like it.
Yeah.
I'm also hearing some people have been to it through Celebrity. Some have been through Carnival. Some have been through Virgin. And now you did say, now you had went to this, since you were on Virgin, you got to go to the Virgin part of the beach club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not right near the hotels. It's not right at the casino, is it?
So it's not a huge island. So where you get off, I believe we went past the hotels that probably have the casinos. There's not a ton of hotels on Bimini, on the main island of Bimini, but there may be some the other direction as well. But we took like a tram, and I'm pretty sure we passed the hotels with the casinos, but they might have just been like just down the other way a little bit.
So what did you think of the resort you did visit? Did you like it?
If we were going there to enjoy the resort as a resort, it was gorgeous. It was a beautiful resort. It was very big. They had a lot of amenities. The pool was huge. There were a lot of chairs. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for that sort of Half Moon Cay experience without the snorkeling portion, it's beautiful. I would say that most people are probably going to be pretty happy with that experience. They do offer rentals of things that people like to do in the water, like jet ski, and I feel like maybe they had, I don't know if they had paddle boards, kayaks
and
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you're into water sports that isn't snorkeling right there, it's good for that. Or just getting in the water is good for that. But yeah, the resort area itself is pretty massive, really, and very, very nice, very classy looking. When we were there, it was super clean. So we were pretty happy with that aspect of it. But not a place to go if you want to snorkel. But most people are not us like that. So,
well, see, that's the thing. Me and Michelle love to snorkel. Anthony's kind of got a little scared about it, but he
We
keeps
like the
telling us,
best of both worlds.
yeah, we like the best of both worlds. That's why we love Half Moon Cay. You can do both.
Yeah.
And you got the awesome beach area, and then you can go over snorkel too. I mean, I know it's probably not as good as snorkeling definitely not as good as other places, but still you have both of them there now. But this Bimini, I mean, I didn't know that number one, it was a quick book, and we didn't know what to do. So we still may go to the resort for a few hours that morning. Depends on when we have to get back on the ship, and then take a taxi maybe to go see some of the other local stuff or something, and then come, or vice versa, go do that first, then come back. What do you think?
It's a possibility, definitely.
Because
I don't know if they'll do this with Carnival, but it might be just a Bimini thing. But they had like these, like the golf cart trams you get from like the parking lot at theme parks. They had those running, and for Virgin they were free, I think. But they had some that went back and forth to the resort. But I feel like they had some, and they may not have been free, that went to the quote unquote downtown area.
They had some that you could rent.
And you could rent golf. Yeah, you could rent golf carts and things like that as well. So there's definitely ways to explore. We did walk quite a ways just to kind of look around the island. There wasn't a lot in the area where we walked, but we saw lizards and stuff, so we were excited. But I could see where Bimini would be one of those places that would be kind of a you either love it or hate it kind of a place, because what I didn't see the downtown area, but if you're not going for that sort of hang out and relax at the resort or go do an excursion, there's not a lot to do. Like, I don't know how much shopping there is in the downtown area, but there's not like a bunch of shopping when you get off the ship kind of a thing. So that could kind of split people in that a little bit. But for us, I mean, walking off the ship, looking in the water and seeing sharks, sold, so that was for us. And we really enjoyed the excursions a lot. We actually talked about going back as a vacation and doing they have shark packages where you can do dives and snorkels with sharks and stuff like that we've talked about even doing that, because we really, if you're into underwater stuff, it's a great place for snorkeling and diving.
So Controversial Cruising here says it's such a small line, it may be a little pricey, yes, because of the demand, but the freedom is just so nice. You can ride the entire island and stop at 2 to 3 bars along the way. And I've seen some videos, and I think maybe it was in here on the golf cart video where they had stopped at like a local restaurant and they was talking about eating I think the conch fritters or something. It was talking about how great the food was and it's fresh, and they had to wait a little while for food, but they knew it was fresh because as soon as they got it, it was really hot. I mean that would be cool, and I get it. I mean, those people have to make a living,
Yeah.
The hotels near there, they're capitalizing on the casino and the cruise ships, and I get all that too. But I mean, what do you expect? I mean, you can't go there and expect to buy stuff for $2 or $3. I mean, they have to make a living.
Amanda says that there's a strong market too. Certainly not my thing.
Okay.
But
Fisherman's Village was a stop, casino was a stop, golf cart rental was a stop, free shuttle from Carnival too. Okay. And Amanda says, what now? There's a strong market downtown. There's a shipwreck beach, a cemetery, several local food shops, bakeries, pizza, conch fritters. The best rum punch is called Bimini Knockout Punch at Stewart's. Okay. Wow. Hey, we got to remember Anthony's with us. He might have to drive the golf cart back if we.
Okay. So you felt safe there. It's a safe area.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, even walking around I guess it's still kind of a touristy area, but it was definitely more resident. Like we walked by some schools.
We had a couple hours to kill between when we booked the excursion and when it happened. So we were like, let's walk down this street, and there's no concern at all. Felt
real comfortable.
Yeah.
So TX says they've added a free beach, but it's right next to the sewage.
Just want to go there.
I think I may have saw somebody complain about. Is that the place where, they had a pipe coming out like a sewage drain or something like that, like a rain drain, and people claim the beach that the trash and stuff was coming up? I don't know. I watched some YouTube videos.
Is that where we saw all the crew getting off?
There is a crew beach that's when you walk off the pier, it's to the right.
Yeah.
That we wanted to go to because that looked like it'd have good snorkeling, and that's
for crew
right by where all the sharks were. I'm like, can we go there? And they were like, no, you can't. You have to be crew. So we were like, I can pretend I'm crew.
So Controversial Cruising says, yes, Luvy, that is the one. I saw where people were complaining about one of the beaches and said that they had a pipe. They actually took a video of it, and it was like trash and stuff. I mean, it was runoff from rain and stuff there, but they had a beach right there at it. But tourists, don't throw your junk in the roads and stuff, and it wouldn't be trash there, right? Or you can do what is Beach Please does, that program where you pick up 3 things.
Yes.
It's like 3 for 1 or
Definitely.
something. I can't remember that organization, but that's a great cause. Anytime you're out cruising the island, you see trash, pick it up. Don't throw it in a trash can. Don't, even if it's not yours, just pick up 3 items. Keep the ecosystem in good shape. It's all right.
Yes. Radio Beach.
What now?
Amanda said that there's a Radio Beach.
There's also Radio Beach, different than the free beach, that has a local stands for coconut drinks and some other food vendors, some snorkeling around the rocks there. Okay. So yeah, I also saw, so I guess I saw also on these, and somebody here that's been on the golf cart tour, or just used the golf cart, there was like a small sunk boat that was sunk that they took over and took pictures and stuff of it. I don't think it was the same one that you went snorkeling by. It was like right there at the shore where you could basically step right on a small boat. I don't know if y'all have seen that or heard about that either.
There's a few wrecks there, I know, that you can go to, but yeah, the Sapona's out a little ways. I don't think you could see it from land. It's not that far, but I don't, it's definitely not like real close to land.
Shipwreck Beach. Maybe I guess that's where it.
That makes sense.
It's shipwreck there. As far as Shipwreck Beach.
Named appropriately.
Good.
So the governor says no one was pushy at all, except for if you go to the last stop of the tram, don't go into the paid resort area to use the bathroom.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Let's see. Let's see. That boat. Let's see. Let me see. That boat is on the end of the island by the cemetery. Okay. Cool. So let me ask you. I know it's 8:41. We got 19 more minutes here. So this is the part that which may become a little controversial.
Oh, no.
You know, on our thumbnail, we had the old Carnival versus Virgin. Matt Kimbra, we know you've cruised a lot of cruise lines. I know you have probably been on more Carnival than any of them. You gave Virgin a try, right? Once. You've done it once so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's your opinion? And this is going to be controversial. I'm kind of throwing you under the bus here. Number one, what is your thoughts on Virgin? And then maybe we'll ask you some more questions about Virgin. But what are your thoughts about the cruise that you went on with Virgin?
You want to say something? Because you know what I'm going to say.
I know. So we did not have the best experience. We had a lot of customer service issues. That we did go on one of their earlier cruises. So maybe some of those things have been fixed. And I've heard a lot of other people say that they didn't experience anything like that. But for us, it was kind of a bummer.
We still enjoyed it. It was a cruise,
which I think they went recently on it, so maybe they've worked out some of those bugs. But
can we have examples?
Can we have some examples without getting too, as a TA, I guess you have to be kind of careful what you say, right? But was it like problems with the room or just rudeness or something like that? Or
it started with, so this was actually, it was a free cruise for us because of doing the TA training, mostly free. We had to pay for some of it. But so we did pick our cabin type, and I think that I picked my cabin location when booking. Mm-hmm. However, sometime between booking and getting on the ship, they changed our cabin twice.
Wow.
So
it didn't tell us.
I didn't know until we were on the ship. Because I didn't really care where we were. I just picked a cabin and I couldn't possibly tell you what cabin number it was. And then they send you your luggage tags and your bracelet things that I can't think of what they call them, in the mail. And then you only have those certain number of luggage tags. So then when you get to the ship, if you have more bags, they'll like grab another one and write the number on it off of your other luggage tags, which we had a couple extra bags. So they did that. So then we got to our cabin and 2 of our bags were missing because those 2 bags had the number that our luggage tags had on them, which was a different room because they changed it.
So they lost our luggage essentially. They found it. But it was a annoyance. And then
so it wasn't. I didn't care that I was in a different cabin The issue was that I didn't know
Right.
that I was in a different cabin.
And it was our snorkel bag, so that was not
And
real good.
and because they send
yeah,
us
that
our
would've been good.
luggage tags with a number on it, it's not like we can print it if it changes.
Right.
That's the luggage tag that you have. So that was kind of an issue for us.
But it was a lot of little things like that.
Yeah.
Like the way that they do it's not a buffet, but it's a buffet thing where you order your food and they come bring it out to you. It always took forever. They got it wrong.
I've heard that a lot.
More times than
I've
not. Yeah, it was the wrong stuff. She would get hers or I would get mine, and then like 30 minutes later, the other ones would come. We'd have to ask somebody. And it's like, when you go to the buffet, that's like a hit it and go thing. So it became like a whole experience. And we had other issues. Like they have the board game thing, which is neat. Well, we got one of the board games. It was Mousetrap.
Mhm.
It was missing pieces. So that's fine. I went up to the guy that was just texting on his phone the whole time, but he was handing out the games. And I said, just to let you know, this game is missing some pieces. And he put it on the shelf and he said, I'll let the next guy worry about it. And I'm just like, really?
Oh, wow.
Really? That was kind of the experience we had overall. The food was
fine.
It was okay. I didn't love any of it. It wasn't awful, but and the furniture, like on the deck and stuff, it's very South Beach. It's all about how it looks, but it's not comfortable. Like every chair, like you sit in, and it's like, this is like, no, who would want to sit in this weird, awkward, flat, hard chair? Like it looks nice. It's very IKEA looking, but I don't know. So we did not love our Virgin experience. Would I try them again? If I got a free cruise, I would try them again. I would not pay to try them again. I don't think. Maybe in 10 years or something, but
If we got a discounted rate on
maybe
it.
a severely discounted.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of other ships I would try first. It just wasn't. It wasn't for us. There were things that were just that we didn't like because it just wasn't our cup of tea. But there were also issues that we had that were like customer service and just things like that. So it was just not a good. We did a whole podcast where I rant about it. For
I remember that.
So,
so when they started up, how long after they first started up did you guys cruise with them? Like, was it 6 months later, 3 months later, a year later?
So starting in the U.S. was September of 21. They'd cruised a month or two prior to that. Overseas. We cruised in November. So 2 months after coming into the US.
Okay. So it was pretty early on.
After they were still pretty fresh.
Okay.
yeah.
So we got the Shows here. They've done it, and let's say they do have a drag queen show, but it's in private venue, and it wasn't bad at all. It was so funny. I definitely say it's a must-see show. It was called Around the World in 8
We didn't
have a drag queen show. That might have helped them out because we were a big fan of drag queens.
There were a lot of things that were promised that we didn't experience.
Yeah.
Like a drag queen show. We
Yeah.
were very excited for it.
They had like a soda fountain bar thing, but the soda fountain didn't work. The milkshakes worked, but the soda fountain never worked. They were saying that they were still waiting on that. I mean, some of them we can give them pass because it was a new cruise line or whatever.
We spent a big chunk of our cruise playing shuffleboard, tabletop shuffleboard.
And that was fun.
The video games were fun.
It was old school
video games,
and they were free. So it was like a 1980s style arcade that was free. So I mean, there were good things about it. I don't mean to be like I kind of enjoy ranting on it just because I like to poke that hornet's nest
a little bit, right?
Yeah, I like doing that with Virgin, but yeah, I mean, I honestly it just wasn't our bag, and some of the problems that we had weren't great, but that could be fixed. That could all be fixed. What we did appreciate is the fact that the crew could have like tattoos and express themselves like with colored hair and so like. I'm all for personal expression and
Right.
that sort of thing. So that was cool. But at the same time, like I've never experienced such unfriendly customer service on a cruise ship. Like there was a guy at the like little ice cream thing, and he just like was miserable, like just didn't want to be there at all. And it was just like, what is happening? But
now, do you think early on? I know early on they offered a lot of TAs, like the one-time free cruise thing, because I think some other friends in the cruising community had went. I think Life is Good Today. Ronnie and Alma went. It was free. Chris Barnett, seeing the world, cruising the world. Chris, I know he had went. I mean, you wouldn't think they would. If anything, if you got TAs on there, you think you would definitely want to put your best
You would
foot forward.
cater to them.
Yeah, you'd want to cater to
So
them if
they
you knew a
could
bunch of them
sell
were on there.
your product.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah, and
So
I mean it is.
Hers was not free. They paid full price for it, and I heard they're a little pricey, but I mean,
the drinks we did. They had like, what was it, the bar tab where it was like you spent so much and you got so much on top of that. So we did that as well, and their drinks were really kind of pathetic. We didn't actually drink very much at all because their choices were not,
except for the milkshakes.
Well, right, but I'm
with the
talking
bourbon.
about,
They had bourbon milkshake.
Well, that's true.
That
But so, and actually,
I still dream about that.
at the time that we cruised, they had like their regular cruise money and their bar tab like still kind of messed up, so you could utilize your bar tab for other things. So, which actually worked out in our favor because we utilized that to pay for our excursion, because we didn't like the drinks on the ship.
So Roy's saying it's much better now, Matt. Definitely worth checking out again. So, hey, maybe they'll throw you a free one or a huge discount. I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you what. There's not a cruise line I don't think I would not try.
At least once.
At least once. And only one I may not try would be Disney, just because I'm over that whole Disney stuff. I know people love Disney, and I just the only one I probably wouldn't. But if it was free, I would probably go.
Try it.
We've talked about next year. I mean, we've only went Carnival. That's Anthony now is past the age of Camp Ocean. He just wants to stay in the room now and play video games or watch TV. So next year we're looking at Royal, Celebrity, MSC possibly. I mean, we're open, and the whole status thing of platinum and diamond that doesn't mean nothing to me. I don't care about that.
Yeah, I think it's good to try different lines, and like I said, I mean, it was still a cruise. It was still fun at the time. It was going to be, they were the only ones going to Bimini, so that was exciting. But now everybody goes to Bimini, so that's not as exciting anymore. But
one thing I loved about that Virgin, though, when you went to Bimini with Virgin, was it at a late night that you left? Because I did see where on their, like the beach that they have these cool bonfires. They have the band out there playing, and it looks like they stay later at night than whereas like Carnival has to leave at 3, 4, 5 o'clock. They were staying late at night to leave.
Yeah.
I don't think they do an all-nighter, but
yeah,
it looked like they were staying later.
It was definitely later. Our excursion got back. It was dark. So I don't know what was happening on the beach because we walked straight back to the ship because it was like ready to leave. But it was definitely dark outside.
Yeah, we ended up with like a sunset cruise back to
that was kind of
nice. and then it was gorgeous. And then by the time we got back, we had to get right back on the ship because it was fairly late at that point. But yeah, I think they do some bonfires and that sort of
I think
thing.
we saw where that stuff was set up.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, going back to Bimini though, is it ranking your top 10 anywhere? I mean, if you had to, is it even ranking your top 5, or you just say it's a solid island and that you'd like to go back to, or what's your thoughts on Bimini overall? I mean, I know there's a ton of cruise ports out there. It's relatively new in the last few years with cruise ships, but what's your overall take on it? Like going back a second or third time?
I'd say if it's based solely on the excursion that we did, it's definitely one of my top favorites because that excursion was exceptional in all ways, not just being in the water and seeing the creatures, but the crew on that little boat was amazing as well. So based solely on the excursion, one of my top options. Bimini as a whole, it was a lovely island.
We didn't see a lot of it.
Yeah. So I can't judge Bimini. really.
Yeah, but Bimini does have those excursion experiences to offer.
Right.
Like I would say Bimini is probably in my top 5 simply because I know if I'm going to Bimini, I'm going to be in the water with sharks.
Right.
And so for me, that makes Bimini a high priority port stop for me. If it wasn't for that, then it would probably be a good port stop, but it wouldn't necessarily be a standout port stop from what I saw. But again, yeah, we didn't really experience the land part of Bimini that much, so I don't really know that we can speak to that specifically. But the
So
water
this is
part
kind of
we
a good
can.
spot for a segue right into one of your favorite things is your cruise creature or your tell us marine life wise. What did you see at Bimini that I'm sure you've seen elsewhere, but that you told us already the nurse sharks and stuff you saw up front,
It
but
just really
that
stood
really
out.
stood out to you about it with the snorkeling that you did. I know the diving would be incredible, but just from what snorkeling you did, what will somebody see there that maybe they don't get to see everywhere else, or there's abundance more there from what little bit you saw?
I mean, we saw a lot of stingrays, but I mean, you can see a lot of stingrays other places. I would say the sharks is really the highlight. We did see,
We saw a lot of sea turtles.
we saw 2 or 3.
We saw 3.
3 sea turtles, and that was in a 30-minute snorkel on the
which
Sapona.
is normally
Wow.
I'm lucky if I can see 1.
Yeah.
And between the 2 of us, we saw
We've never
3.
seen one yet.
I don't know if that's normal, the experience, but like there was a point where I'm swimming around the wreck and I see a sea turtle and I'm filming it, and like Kimbra's behind me, and I don't want to take my eyes off the sea turtle, but I want Kimbra to see the sea turtle. So finally I like poke my head up out of the water. I'm like, Kimbra, sea turtle. And she's like, bruh. And then I turn around and look at the sea turtle, look back at her. She's swimming off the other direction away from the ship, away from the wreck. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, sea turtle. Well, here's what happened. I'm looking at a sea turtle out here. She's back here. I go, sea turtle. She looks over there. There's another sea turtle. So she assumes that's the one I'm talking about. She starts following that sea turtle. I'm following my sea turtle. We don't know they're 2 different sea turtles. And then I'm like, she's like going out into the open ocean. I don't know where she's going. So finally we figured out what had happened. But yeah, I mean, but even the other marine life that was on the Sapona was really nice, and it was so easy to observe because it was because it's sticking up out of the water. So it's a really interesting snorkel. I highly recommend it. And then the shark thing was for sharks, but I mean, normally when you do a shark swim, you have nurse sharks, which is great. Nurse sharks are fine, but Caribbean reef sharks, they're one of my top 5 sharks. So seeing the black nose sharks, I'm checking off sharks off my box that I get to swim with, and Bimini is a place to do that. There's a shark research station on Bimini, which is why you get so much of the shark research there. This studies lemon sharks. There's a lot of lemon sharks there, hammerhead sharks. It's a sharky kind of place.
those islands, aren't they? They're only like what, 50, 60 miles off of the Florida coast, like east and
you can actually take
miles from Nassau.
Yeah, you can actually take a boat from Fort Lauderdale, I think, or Miami. I think, or both.
You can do either or.
Yeah, it's like a high-speed boat. It's a big boat.
It's like a 3-hour boat ride.
Yeah, it'll take you and drop you off at Bimini. Some people go, I think, for the day, but usually you go over there and you stay in a hotel for however long you can, and then you come back. And we've talked about doing that. So that, I mean, if that tells you how much we love Bimini, like we've talked about doing like a long-term stay, like that shark thing or something for like a week there. It's expensive to do it that way, but sharks.
So people have talked about your octopus. I think you saw one time in Nassau, if I'm not mistaken. But where all have you seen the octopus at? Was it Half Moon Cay as well that you saw one maybe? Yep. So
Half
where
Moon Cay,
all have you seen the octopus at?
Half Moon Cay, Nassau, Aruba, Nassau, and I say that, yeah, Nassau twice actually. I know we've seen them other places.
Did we see one in Cayman? We
No.
saw where it lived.
Oh yeah, we saw one in
Did we
Grand
see it
Cayman.
in Cayman?
Yeah, we saw it in Grand Cayman.
I remember
That may
Aruba.
be it.
I feel like there was one more, but I don't remember where. That might be Aruba that I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
The two that
We've
saw.
seen squid more than octopus, but yeah.
Well, awesome. Hey, we are down to our last minute. We don't want to run over anybody else's time, and thank you so much for being in here. Can you kind of tell everybody a couple things leading out or ending the night for us? What you guys have coming up? Maybe your next cruise is coming out, your new vlog series coming out. We know you have your Friday night show as well. There's a lot going on with Fintastic Cruising, but kind of give everybody an outro of what you got going on.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting us on. We always love hanging out with you guys.
Our pleasure.
We
have an open invitation to always come on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. We love when you guys come on there.
It's hard. There's so much stuff going on. We have way too many hobbies. So we haven't released a lot of videos, but every Friday night, typically, we are on from 8 to about 9 or 10, depending on how chatty I am. So usually 10. And although we're not tomorrow night because we're going to an Irish pub so I can wear my kilt, but we'll probably be on Saturday night at some point. And then we do the podcast, and then we are planning on possibly trying to start getting the audio one again. We have some ideas. Mm-hmm. We may be expanding to do an audio podcast that's separate than the YouTube videos. And then with this new studio setup, I've been threatening to get back on my art channel. Well, now I've got my art tablet. It's like right down here, and I'm going to have a camera set up overhead so I can do more traditional stuff. So you may start seeing some drawing and stuff with Matt kind of things happening again.
Upcoming cruises, we have September 9th. We are going on the Carnival Celebration to Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao.
Our favorites, our favorite islands.
We might cancel the non-group for that one. I love Aruba and Bonaire.
Yeah,
we've never been to Curacao, so that's one of our bucket list places.
Yes,
Curacao is a really
real nice.
Cool island.
Yeah, we've got one of the most beautiful reefs I've ever seen.
And the downtown area.
Yeah.
Oh man, Willemstad is just, it's like 17th century Europe meets the Caribbean. It's just amazing.
Oh, man.
And
then after that, we have our November 4th cruise on the Mardi Gras that goes to Puerto Rico,
Dominican Republic,
Amber Cove, and
Grand Turk.
And that is where Matt will be stuck with me forever.
Awesome. So thank you so much again for coming on here. We love you guys, and we've got to get on a cruise with you guys. We got to check out your 2024 schedule since we only have one book so far, but we definitely love to get on a cruise with you guys. Saw your mother in here earlier, and she's such a pleasant voice in the community when she comes in.
It's her birthday too, I should say. Happy birthday, Mom, if you're still there.
Should I sing her happy birthday?
Please don't.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Sandy.
I'm saving yours, Sandy. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a great one.
Thank you. It's good to see y'all.
Great seeing y'all. Thank you.
All right, good night.
Awesome channel, awesome couple. If you like snorkeling or just watching snorkeling and diving, especially the diving part of it, sub to their channel. They got the podcast.
Awesome videos.
Oh, and Kimbra, she dives too. I mean, they dive as a couple. So great stuff. And I don't know how to dive. I doubt I could ever pass the test.
We can live through
I live through them. I'm living through, Mike and Betsy now and Matt and Kimbra, and I'm okay with that. And I have tried to tell my son, Anthony, that, Anthony, if you want to do one thing, learn how to do that. I guess we need to teach him to swim as well sooner or later.
Let's change subject.
We're going to get off here.
Yes.
You guys have a great one. Thanks for checking out this video. I hope we got to share a little bit about Bimini.
Yes.
And we appreciate all the conversation.
Excited.
Yeah, I can't wait to go. And let's do our outro tonight. All right, Michelle?
Okay, which one?
Y'all have a good night.
Thank
have
you.
a great weekend.
Bye.
Thank you again.